So this is going to be a short one because there are easily two very simple reasons why Link should definitely speak in the Zelda movie. First reason is that he speaks in the games. I don't know how you could consider yourself like a Zelda fan and not know this very simple fact. Like, whenever people ask him for information, especially in the 3D Zeldas, not so much in the 2D Zeldas as much, like, I could see where, like, maybe he only knows his name somehow, but definitely in the 3D Zeldas, we're like, hey, tell us about this thing that went on. You know, tell us about the stones. Tell us about this Phantom Zelda. Tell us about whatever. And then Link tells, hey, this is what I went through, and they're like, oh, shit. Now, he doesn't get text boxes that say, hey, Link says this, and nor does he have speaking lines in the cutscenes, but he does speak. It is even in Zelda's diary in Breath of the Wild that says he's not much of a talker because he feels like he has to be stoic for, you know, because he has a reputation of hero that he has to hold up, and there's so much weight on him that he doesn't feel like he needs to talk. Or whatever. Like, she says that he's not much of a talker, but she does get him to talk. So he's not a completely mute protagonist. He does talk in the games. Like, how you miss that, I don't know. You have to be just, like, smashing text lines. Be like, I just want to get to the next dungeon. Because I don't know how else you miss the fact that he gives information to people on a regular basis. Now, in the movie, don't make him a complete chatterbox. That would definitely ruin. Don't do CDI Link. Don't do that. Or the 90s cartoon. Don't do that. Don't do either of those things. Him speaking, you know, John Wick style maybe, where he's like a man of few words type of person, but he's a badass. Like, that will be better than what people are probably thinking was going to happen, is that Zelda is his mouthpiece. And that's going to be awkward. And I don't like the idea of doing that. Reason number two is that it's a fucking movie. Movies are not video games, which is what, you know, my exact reason of why I don't like the Mario movies, because people defend it as like, oh, well, there's hardly any story in the games. Just like the last video I talked about this. There's no, you know, there's very shallow story in the games. So there's like going to be shallow story in the movies. One, the games still tell a better story than the movies do in the Mario movie. But two, games can get away with a more shallow story because, especially when in Mario's case, the gameplay of Mario carries the game. The story is just there to facilitate the adventure that he goes on, which again is more coherent than the fucking Mario movies were. And yes, Zelda is more of a story series, and the story is very important. Like, without a good story, like, people wouldn't be as interested in Zelda as they are now. But a movie needs to, again, there's no gameplay involved. A movie needs to tell you a good story with good visuals in order for you to be entertained, because it's non-interactive. And having a silent protagonist, while people have given examples in these arguments online about like movies that do this, one, very few and far between, and two, very hard to do and not really recommended. And I did see somebody try to bring up silent movies of the past, and I don't know if anybody else tried thinking of it that way. It's like, oh, well, we had silent movies, you know, back in the 20s or whatever the fuck. That was due to a tech limitation. That wasn't due to creative choices for silent films. Like, they didn't have the technology to be recording audio with the video at the same time, or even do ADR and combine it together. They didn't have that kind of technology. That's why a lot of theaters had music pits, so then they had music playing, like live orchestra playing during movies. So then, or even sometimes it is just radio and it's just music that kind of fits the film. But sometimes they also had an actual orchestra pit because they didn't have audio connected to the film. And silent films had text slides. If they needed information passed, a character would speak, and then a text would happen and be like, oh, the robber is over there, he robbed me, or whatever the fuck the short film was about. Which, by the way, short films, or silent films, sorry, didn't have that much of a story. It was guy building house, damsel in distress hit by train. But Zelda is a very story-heavy medium, so you can't really do the whole can't speak thing or everybody speaks for him thing, because everybody speaking for him is going to feel awkward. And if it's a lot of silence, you're not going to really be able to convey a whole lot of story. Now, I'm not saying exposition dump, make dialogue natural. Having no speaking or very little speaking, I think is going to be detrimental to a very story-heavy series. So, 100% Link needs to talk. Even if it is like a few lines here and there to convey you know what he's learned and stuff like that. Because if Zelda's just gonna be a mouthpiece the whole time for him, and he's only gonna say like 1 or 2 lines, then I feel like Zelda's character is more used than actually integrated well. She's just being used so then Link doesn't have to talk, instead of her being a real part of the story. So yeah, he should 100% talk. Also, he talks in the manga. Like, I know, like, Nintendo didn't create the manga, but like it was published, like it was approved by Nintendo, and he talks in it. Like this whole idea that Link should not talk ever is dumb. Because one, I think he should start talking in the games, by the way, personally. I think that would definitely create, I don't play a game to, if I'm not creating my own character, then I don't care to be like, oh, I'm this person. Like, I can still get immersed in the game, like Breath of the Wild, and do the whole, like, oh, I'm not going to teleport to shrines because I'm going to, like, pretend I'm living off the land or whatever type of imagination stuff. But I don't have to be like, oh, I'm literally Link for me to do that. Sure, maybe some people need that, but I think a story is stronger if you make your main character be more of a character. And they don't have to have a dynamic story arc. Sonic's story arc doesn't change, but he is a very 3D character, like with his own personality, with his own likes and dislikes, while Link, I think, should have more speaking roles and give himself more of a personality opposed to just hero. But we're talking about the movie here, and I think he should talk, and I think this is actually a good stepping stone for them to explore Link's personality more, because his personality really is just the hero that saves the day. He is a royal knight or a chosen one or whatever. Like, yeah, some game, Twilight Princess makes him a farm boy, and he does have a good amount of personality in there. And then Wind Waker, living on the island with his grandma and stuff. And, I guess him sleeping in is, like, a very, like, big thing that carries over. Like, there's small things, but I feel like they could do more with his character, and I think the movies could kind of bring that out. Also, the movie should have been animated, by the way. Like, not like Mario, like Illumination style. Like, I know a lot of people say Studio Ghibli, which I like. That is a good choice. Like, they would probably do it justice, but I personally would go with Bones, or other like anime styles like that. I might also be biased because Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime, but regardless, there should have been a Japanese animation studio behind the Legend of Zelda anime, or Legend of Zelda movie, but they made it live action. Gave Sony the reins, which is hit or miss. So I don't know. I don't know. I have very mixed expectations from this movie, but I do think that Link should talk. That's the point of the video. Link should definitely talk, and because I think it would be better for the movie he did. And he's not a mute person. The games have shown us many times that he is not mute.